Hello folks, I'm Jan Montarsi from Gembox Designs, here to introduce you today to my new BlendAngles gradient templates. They are made out of acrylic and they are designed to help you make beautiful Skinner blends, gradient blends on your pasta machines. They are designed to fit the standard 150 and 180 pasta machines. This larger one is for the 180 pasta machine. It fits the width of your pasta machine. And this one is for the 150, which is the standard Atlas 150 or the standard pasta machines you buy at Michael's or Hobby Lobby for polymer clay. Then we have two smaller templates that are for rainbow blends. There's different ways you can use these also. And I'll have more videos coming out on my Facebook page, probably connected to YouTube, how to use these in different ways. But I just want to give you a brief overview for today. Move these blends out of the way. And if you notice, the plastic mats that I'm working on today, they have a shiny side and a frosty side. I typically work on the frosty side, but if you want to stack these layers of clay on top of each other, if you stick your clay to the shiny side, you can stack these up and the clay won't stick to the one above it. You get these at Dollar Tree. They're 2 for $1. They're a great piece, and you will get a piece in your kits. When you order your kit will come stuck to a piece of the cutting board, so you'll have a sample. And this is how the kits will be mailed to you. So first, what am I going to show you? I'm going to show you the standard way to use your templates. I have some clay rolled out here on a medium thin setting. I'm going to use my 150 triangle. Very simple, you don't even need a blade. Now if you have really sticky clay, you may want to use some cornstarch and just do a light dusting. It won't hurt your clay. It'll mix right in. And I use a needle tool. You just hold your template down at the points on the side you're cutting at and just run your needle tool along there. Quick and easy. You don't have to line up your blade. Now this clay nicely peels off the template without powder. I'll do another one with powder. And once again, peels all off nicely with the powder. Alright, so this is your standard 2-color Skinner blend. I have some other colors here already ready to go somewhere. So if you're going to make a standard 2-color Skinner blend, the templates are designed, if you line your clay triangles up evenly end to end like that, you'll have no pure color. You'll notice that the templates are slightly shorter than your pasta machine. You'll have a little bit of a gap, and that is so that you can move it slightly down, trim off those points, and you'll have some pure color at the ends of your blend. And that's going to give you a blend, not the same colors, but that will give you a blend like this with a little pure color at each end and the gradient in the middle. Another way you can use this, if you want a lot of pure color at each end, you can turn them this way and slide them out farther. Once again, you'll have more to cut off, but then it'll fit to the end of your pasta machine. You'll cut those off, and that's what you'll blend. You'll have a bunch of blue and a bunch of red and pure colors at the end of your blend with the gradient in the middle. Or another thing you can do is you can make a transitional blend. You add a strip of white into the middle and trim off the excess. My blade here. Anyway, you get the idea. This will create a transitional blend. Several people I've seen on their YouTube use this type of blend. Later on in future videos when I'm actually making and blending them, I'll give you links to those people that I admire who make polymer clay canes and use Skinner blends in different ways. Now, if you're making a small blend, you just need a little bit, and I don't ever use huge blends. Rarely, most of us don't make big canes. But if you're making a small blend, there's two ways that I stack these. Now, if I'm making a small blend, I'm just going to use one layer. If I'm going to make a larger blend, I want more of a blend, I'll use 2 layers. If I'm making a small blend, instead of trying to fold it, which happens when you fold them, your seam comes apart and it falls apart in your pasta machine. So what I do is I cut mine in half and I use a piece of cardstock. Makes it a lot easier to pick up. And then I just stack them on top of each other. If I'm doing 2 layers, I'll have my first 2 triangles put together, and then instead of putting these the same exact way on top and having to mush the seam together, just lay them the other direction. It is the same, you will get the same blend. But what that does is that locks all your pieces together, so then when you go to put it in the pasta machine, they're stuck together. You don't have to worry about your blend pieces falling apart. And that is pretty much for the 150 and the 180 templates. They work exactly the same. Another thing you can do, if you wanted to have a 3-color blend, I'm going to pull these apart here real quick. Another thing you can do if you're going to have a 3-color blend, whoops, this clay is very firm, very old. I'll leave that one the way it is. So suppose I had another triangle in another color. I'm getting that for you here. I'm going to use white and my template. That got lucky there, and it's the right size. So you put your finger down on that end where the points are. Oops. It's hard working on that stretched out angle. So you have 3 triangles of color, and you're going to use these in a different way, actually 2 different ways. If you take your triangles and you cut them in half and go for equilateral triangles, the other thing I like about these plastic mats, cut them in half. They're easy to spin around in a standard area in your work surface. So now I got 2 different sizes of triangles. And what I'm going to do with them is make 2 variations of a 3-color blend. Okay, now you can see that's much wider than my pasta machine would be. Your pasta machine is wide as this long size. So if you just take this, cut up your side here, and here you can actually cut it, a little longer than the ends. And then you can just use a piece of the clay here to turn around and fill in the corner. That would be one variation. These are longer triangles, and they're not cut very well. I didn't take my time and cut them well. That one you can see is way off. Now another thing too, anytime you're using any of these, if your clay comes all to a point like that where everything's up to the point, you'll have a solid gradation of blend. But if you pull your points back and leave a little bit of pure color there, you will get a more white area in the center of your blend. Yeah, this one's a little off. So, same thing. I'm gonna make this as long as my pasta machine, using this as my guide. Now I made this blend the other day, and after I made the 2 pieces, I thought, well, I'm going to put them together and make it all one blend. And the blend that I got was this blend with white in the middle. I only had one problem: when I stacked them all together, all the colors overlapped here. And it's not like at the end where you can trim off corner. So what I did is I just took a little cookie cutter, and of course it disappeared off my table. But I took a little cookie cutter, and I just used a little circle cutter, and I cut a little circle out of there. And that got me back to where I had a line of pure color, which showed up. You can see how it showed up here in the middle of the blend. Okay, so actually that would be trimmed off shorter. So that's another way you can make, using the big templates, a 3-color blend. Now to me, the fun starts when I get into the smaller templates. I'm going to set these out of the way for now. I'll straighten this clay out later. Now, getting into the smaller templates, which are now buried on my table. And I have some setups already ready for you to look at. You trim them out the same way. So, on the 150 machine, this is the larger of the 2 small triangle templates. On the 150 machine, you can get 5 colors using that. 3 full triangles and a half triangle on each end. And you can repeat, like I did on this bigger one, more blue at the end, and trim off any excess pure color that you don't want in your blend. But you can see the difference here. This is the 150 template, and this is the 180 template, and you get an extra triangle in your color blend if you have a larger machine. But like I said, if you want to have just this one, just put more of one pure color at the end and then cut off the excess when you're done. On the smaller one, the smaller template I have right here, once again, The shorter one is for the 150 pasta machine, and you have five full triangles and 2 half on each end. And this one you have 6, but they both fit perfectly to your machine by adding that extra triangle. Now, what I said before about having some pure color at the end. Here's some blends I made using the small triangle on a 150 machine. You can see they're just black and white, but what you end up with is multiple areas of mini blends. And I've made inchies doing this. Another way you can make a narrow blend, if you just need a little piece of narrow blend, say for like a landscape pendant. If you look here, I use this template and cut one edge off of each of 2 colors. I put them together, then I cut them to the length of my machine and blended them. And what I ended up with was a blend that was that long. It was black all the way to here, then went into gray, into white, and then white. So then after I was done, I just trim off all my pure color to reuse, and I end up with a wonderful little mini blend. Some of my rainbow blends that I had out here earlier, there's one of the rainbow blends. Of course, everything's getting stacked on top of each other now. And here's a few more rainbow blends. This blend was made with the mini one. I was able to get 8 colors in that blend using this little one on a 150 Atlas machine. And I have some tricks to make even smaller blends. If you wanted to make a blend like this with even more tightness in smaller areas, I will have ways to show you how to do that using the same templates. You don't have to buy a skinnier and skinnier template. Very easy to do. And the thing I like about this blend is a very thin blend. It's rolled out on one of my thin settings. As I was making this blend and blending it, it was only about 2 inches high. So I don't have to make all these great big blends. I used to do that, and I have all these blend sheets to put away. Now this one's much thicker. If I roll this out to the same thickness as this, it would probably cover this whole sheet. But just to show you, you can make thick blends, thin blends. If you want smaller blends, use one level of clay triangles. If you want thicker blends, use 2 layers and use thicker sheets. Some other quick tips: using the full width of your pasta machine, whether you're doing a rainbow blend or a blend like this where you're going to cut off your excess that you don't need, gives you more even blends. They blend better, they stay in line, and they're just much more easy to work with. Once again, here you can see my points go past the ends. Doing that, I will have some pure white areas and pure black areas in my gradient blends. And it works with the colors as well. Another tip for making Skinner blends: when you fold your blends, this one is very dry clay, so it may crack, but always get your ends first lined up and then fold the middle. You know, and you can even watch to make sure you're matching a certain color up. But if you do that every time, fold the ends, match them up, then fold the middle closed. That will give you much better blends. If you have a blend and you have one of those machines that your clay stretches longer on one side, flip-flop the colors at each end to the other end of the pasta machine. So if you're running it through your pasta machine this way and it gets longer over here, the next pass after you fold it, put it through your pasta machine this way. Just flip-flopping the ends every time, and that will help you keep more even blends. And you can also stretch blends. Like if this went through and came out crooked, you can just go while you're working with it and stretch an end back out. Then when you go to fold it, make sure you line up your ends. Even if they're a little wonky, keep the ends lined up and then do the middle. And run those through your machine repeatedly. I'm not teaching people here how to make Skinner blends. Just giving you some ideas to use with my templates. Now here's another set of blends. Whoops, I'm sticking to myself. This was a blend that I used using the 150 template. It was cobalt blue into yellow, cadmium yellow. And I blended it, and it was much bigger than that when I got done blending it. And there's very little yellow on each end, but some nice green for leaf colors in this end. Then I added a strip of white. I cut a piece off and I added a strip of white to it and re-blended it. You can see how much brighter the colors are. Then I cut another piece off of the original and I added a piece of mud. And mud is, well, for me, mud is brown. I use a mud I make out of all the primaries. And just a thin little strip of this added to a part of your blend, and you'll get this more muted tone. So there's lots of ways, and I know many of you are very accomplished Skinner blenders. There's a lot of new people that I see them on Facebook, and they're just mystified by the process. Hopefully these templates will help demystify them a little bit for you. I will have them up on a website in a week. In the meantime, you can order them directly from me on Facebook, on my BlendAngles Facebook page, which there'll be a personal link from my personal page there also. They come in different sets. You can get a 150 set, which is the 2 mini blenders and the 150 template, or you can get them with the 2 minis and the 180. You can also buy a set of the 2 minis by itself. I will have needle tools available for those of you that don't have them. I also will have, this is my workhorse blade. They're very inexpensive. They're very stiff, very strong, and I call my workhorse blade because I use them for everything that you're not supposed to use a blade for, like opening clay packs. The good thing about this is this sheet of clay is the width of a 180 machine. Another thing, this blade is long enough to fit the whole span of your pasta machine. So when you're cutting sheets out, it goes the whole way across your blends. You can buy these at Home Depot or Lowe's in multi-packs. Packs. They're called floor scraper blades. They're about $10 or $11 for a multi-pack of them. I will have those available at a reasonable price if you want to add them to your order. I don't suggest just ordering just that. And for now, I'm just mailing to the U.S. And Canada. They will be available worldwide later in the year. If anyone would like to message me with any questions, please feel free to. And thank you all for watching. And I hope you all will give my BlendAngles a chance. My Facebook page is called just BlendAngles, all one word, BlendAngles. Thank you very much.